I'm Jeff Miller. I served in the United States House of Representatives for 15 years. I was the chairman of the VA committee. I was also on the Armed Services Committee and the House Intelligence Committee. I retired in 2017 and have enjoyed being able to go talk to groups around the world about what it's like to have been a member of Congress.
I'm Elizabeth Esty. I, for 6 years, represented Connecticut's 5th Congressional District in the United States Congress. Democrat from a district that is mostly independent voters, so it's one of those classic American swing districts that moves between parties. I got involved in elected politics fairly late. I was in my 40s with 3 children at home. I'd had a previous career as a Supreme Court lawyer and as a professor, but then had stayed home to raise my kids, and it was through my involvement with public schools that I got annoyed with what was happening in the local office and was challenged really by my daughter, who at the time was 15, who said, if you think you can do a better job, you should run. They want you to run. I'll run your campaign, but run or don't complain.
I think the biggest change that you've seen in American politics certainly has been President Trump election in 2016. A candidate that nobody had ever seen before, that has now been elected and is actually doing the very things that he ran on. He promised that he would do certain things, less taxes, less government, more personal freedom. Those types of things are easy to say but are difficult to do. And so I think you're seeing a big change, certainly at the highest levels of Congress and then or the administration, but you're also seeing a huge change, and unfortunately I don't think it's for the better, and that is the entire polarization of our 2 political parties. It used to be they should be able to come together and be able to compromise. You don't see that anymore. You see people pulling harder to the left and harder to the right, and that makes it very difficult to get things done.
There does continue to be a special relationship between the U.S. and the U.K. That's based on language and history. And as we see alliances straining and fraying, it becomes all the more important that I think that alliance stays in place. And the UK is becoming a much more diverse democracy in the same way the United States is, more ethnically, religiously diverse, and the United States is too. And I think governing diverse democracies is hard, especially when there's a lot of immigrant population. We see a lot of the same kind of challenges. Urban communities embracing that diversity, rural communities feeling threatened by that, threatening the sense of identity. I think we have a lot we could learn from each other profitably, but we're seeing a lot of those same tensions playing out right now.
I think the most important thing we've been able to do is to inspire young people that it's not out of their reach to become a elected official, whether it's in some type of local office or even parliament, or in the United States, a member of Congress. Our founders wanted everybody to have the opportunity to serve should they choose to do so, and it's a microcosm of our country. Each member represents a totally different constituency.
You don't need to have the answers. In fact, you better not have the answers, because your job is to be a representative, and a representative is not the person who has all the answers, but that's about judgment and wisdom. And that you collect in part by being available to people and listening more than you talk, being humble about what you know and don't know, ask other people for things, and I would say especially in these really fractious times, to be intentionally very respectful with your language. Every time you run a meeting, saying we're not here to agree, because democracy is not about agreement. It's about working our way, forging consensus where we can. And we may disagree on issues passionately, but make a distinction between, bad ideas or ideas you don't like and people. Like, it's not bad people, it's people's whose ideas you disagree with.
Anybody that served in elected office is still a human being. We and the United States Congress are approachable, especially those of us that served in the House. We represented about 700,000 people. We were seen out and about in our constituency all the time, and I think it's important for folks to know that we're not career politicians. We don't tend to be in office for forever. We're there for a short period of time. We hope to make a difference.
Afterwards, a lot, particularly a lot of the younger women, asked me what advice did I have. I'm thrilled to give young people in particular whatever way I can help shorten the learning curve for someone else to get involved. I'm delighted to do. So I was really encouraged. It was a great group of kids, young people who had fascinating perspectives and really passionate about wanting to make a difference. And that's the reward of doing a program like this.
It's amazing the number of students that came up to me today and said, hey, I want to go somewhere politically. How do I do it? Well, it's all different. Every election that you run is different. Every constituency that you serve, you contact them differently. So there's no really template that you work off of, but be flexible, I think, is the most important thing that we should all remember.